Good morning, Mr. Harewood, and thank you very much for joining us for this conversation. My first question to you, based on your experience in Saint Lucia, what are the biggest challenges to achieving inclusive and effective social dialogue, and what pro-employment macro policies could you best address, share for these challenges, just to address that?
Okay, well, in terms of the challenges, I think one of the main challenges is that social dialogue is it's run in an ad hoc manner. There's no structure to say that every X number of months or years social dialogue is going to take place. These will be the partners or the participants to the social dialogue. And it almost appears as if it's just put together when maybe the government or the Ministry of Labor, or whether the unions or the employers advocate for it and agitate for it. So it's not structured in that particular manner. Also, it's not broad enough. When it does take place, it's not broad enough to include a wide variety of committee or a committee of experts, per se. It's like a closed shop approach, and I think the time has come for social dialogue to be broad and all-inclusive, because there's a lot of expertise and qualified people in academia and the unions, employers, etc., that can participate meaningfully to social dialogue.
So, but in terms of policies, what kind of policies that you would like to recommend just to support the creation of employment, for example?
Yeah, I think it's broad. However, to start it off, it's critical that a binding legislative framework is set up to deal with social dialogue, and also to implement and address the outcomes of social dialogue. Because it's one thing to have social dialogue on paper and to say it existed and it happened, but outcomes and definitive concrete plans come out of social dialogue. So we need to have something that is binding, whether it's legislative or otherwise, that these outcomes, because of the broad participation, we take these outcomes now and implement them in a binding, legally binding way. And I think that is a very good way to start in terms of a concrete strategy to make it inclusive and also effective.
So you talk about the importance of social dialogue and how we need really to make sure that it's not only talks, but we need also to make sure that there will be implementation of the different outcomes. But my second question to you will be to know, in terms of strategies, how can unions adopt different elements in order to strengthen their capacities and effectiveness in influencing public policies through social dialogue?
Yeah. I think the unions have a critical role to play. And based on several conversations and discussions that have taken place over the last several years, two areas that are critical is training and research. We need to invest in that area, build up the whole question of research and data, so that we come to these sessions with information, well armed with information, and not perceptions or opinions, but concrete information. And the unions have a critical role to play in terms of capacity building, and ensuring that research and data is brought into the dynamics as best as possible. And also, we need to beef up the public profile of the unions. I think, given the whole question of we see in social dialogue as a closed shop approach, unions now need to build up their public profile, their public images. When you participate in social dialogue, we need to go out and let the broader membership and working class and working population know that these are the issues that we are bringing up. These are the concrete plans that we are bringing up. This is the outcome. This is the strategy. This is the way forward. So we need to break down the walls, break down the barriers, and let people on the outside know exactly what it is and where we plan on moving forward. So that is one of the concrete strategies we need. These are the two strategies I think we need to work on.
Looking forward to the future, as you know, there will be a very important event to be organized this year, which is the second World Summit for Social Development. In your view, what could be the key actions that the ILO and also the tripartite constituent, mainly the workers, employers, but also government, may take in terms of shaping the development, but also the implementation of a renewed social contract, going beyond the 2030 agenda of the UN?
Well, we don't want to send too much right away, so things get lost in translation, but we need to start with the low-hanging fruit. If we're going to really, down the road, get success and measured success. And one of the things I think it's important that the ILO plays a critical role in coordination. Social dialogue involves a multiplicity of perspectives, groups, institutions from all sorts of sectors, etc. But when we come out with concrete plans, we need to have a proper engine of coordination. So we all know what each other is doing. We all know the progress each other has made and where this one has fallen short, this one is working to improve. And if we can move in a direction where there's improved and better coordination, I think we all will begin to learn best practices, and you will be able to see some of the concrete plans and actions that come out of social dialogue be implemented across. So for instance, we in the region, there are several islands, several countries, several unions. We all need to know what each other is doing. But there must be that conduit of coordination, and I think the ILO is in a pivotal position to spearhead that level of coordination, at least from the workers' standpoint, but also from the employer's standpoint as well. We all need to be moving in one direction in terms of beefing up and moving the whole agenda of social dialogue forward.
Thank you very much, Mr. Harewood, for this conversation.
Thank you.